3, 2, and 1. Action. How's it going, guys?
Good.
What the hell is up? It's been such a long time.
Introduce your guys yourself. Let's see. Who do we got here tonight?
Well, that's my husband.
And that's my wife. I'm Oscar Gutierrez.
And I'm Wendy.
And nice to meet you guys again.
And this is Vic.
Yeah, this is Vic, right? Holy hell. So it's been quite a while since I've spoken to you guys. I want to say what? Last time I seen you guys was...
Right before we announced that I was pregnant. Actually, you were the first one to know.
Yeah, I remember.
From everybody. Remember we pulled up outside of his house?
Oh, that's true.
We bought one of your milkshakes.
Yeah, my calentura.
Your calentura milkshakes.
Yeah.
And then that day we were like, yeah, you know, and I was like, I was craving something. So
Of course you was.
yeah, I was craving something. And then I was like, oh, you know what? He's having some milkshakes. I was like, why don't we get some? And
That's
so
a
we went.
sign.
Yeah. And we were about to announce it like sometime after. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just tell him.
So did you guys already know when she was pregnant during that time?
How did we even go on about this one, actually? Well, I have to say it like that because the second one, that's a story to tell. She got a story to tell for that second one.
So the second one...
But don't lose track. We're talking about the first one.
I know, the first one. So the first one, remember, Luna was not, she was, not that she was an accident, but, you know, I had an IUD, so she was not supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
She was
And
a
then
warrior.
she just broke through the seal, you know, and Hercules over here moved the IUD too. I just got Nah, but she was, she was born. And then after that, I was like, well, I already have the most secure, like, birth control. So I was like, stop it.
We talked about it at the hospital.
It was the most, so
how-
that the one that I had was like the one that was 0.01% or 0.03% of people get pregnant. So it's less than 1 in 1,000, whatever the point is. But I was not supposed to get pregnant, and I did.
You were the chosen one.
I was the chosen one. I was fucking hairy.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And then I was like, well, fuck it. I'm like, you know, I mean, if I had the most secure birth control, then what the hell am I supposed to use now?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we went on, and then I found out about this app, you know, where you track your cycle and shit and everything. And one of the days, you know, I guess I miscalculated, or not miscalculated. I just, you know, pushed it a little too far,
Are we talking about the
or a little
second
too
one or
soon.
first
The
one?
second one for Helios,
Oh,
and then.
She got
Then yeah, then he was the whoopsie baby. He was the whoopsters. I wasn't ready yet to do the second because I had such a traumatizing time with the first one with Luna. So then I was kind of freaking out. I'm not gonna lie, I was freaking out. We both were a little bit.
yeah.
And I took him to Coronado. We were out there by the ferry landing. I was like talking to him, and I couldn't find out like the words of how to like tell him, and I was like, you know, I just have to
I
tell
thought we
him.
were gonna go out there and hang out.
We took Luna, and keep in mind too, like I went before all of this. I went to the store and I got a pregnancy test, and I did it by myself in the bathroom, and I was like, oh shit, no, I can't. Oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? And fuck it. I was like, you know, I guess we're here. Like I just gotta, you know, I can't keep this one. Like keep it to myself. So I was like, let's just go. I was like, you know what?
That would be kind of hard to hide. I ain't gonna lie. Why are you just suddenly getting a little rounder? Like the diet hasn't changed.
You know, but I couldn't pull it off like for a good like 5 months though, because I wasn't showing until like 5 months after. After that, I was like, bloom, like. So nah. But anyways, I took him. I was like, you know, why don't we go to Coronado? He was like, all right, cool. And you know, it was kind of random maybe for him. And we go there, and Luna's playing out there in the grass and everything. And then it was in the nighttime. Yeah. And then I brought the test with me. And then I just kind of was like, so I need to talk to you about something.
You know, every time a man hears that sentence, bro, coming from a woman, you're automatically thinking, what the fuck did I do, bro?
Yeah.
And I'm already thinking, like, chinga.
And I was like, you know, I was like, just hear me out. And I was like, you know, here. And I just like slid it to him, and he was like, oh, you're pregnant? And I'm like, yeah. We were kind of freaking out. He's like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know. And you know, Luna was like, I don't know, how old was she? She was like a year.
A year and change.
And something, like she was about 18 months or something like that. 18 months. And I was like, well, I don't know, you know, we had a whole talk about it. You know, and a lot of people I feel like they're not like, they want to like bring this up, or they don't want to be honest about like, you know, you might not be excited for a certain pregnancy, but the way that we handled it, I think was really good. Like we talked about it. We talked about, you know, I guess what would happen if we, if we kept the baby, if we didn't. And, I was like, I'm a firm believer in like, things happen for a reason. So, I think that maybe this is just really hard on us right now because, we had such a crazy birth experience with Luna, and the birthing center and everything. I don't know if you remember or not, but I think I just wasn't ready for that yet. And I had like PTSD from it. And so I was like, man, it's just too fresh. Like we wanted to wait a few more years for Luna, but we're like, you know what? If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. Like, let's just push on with it.
Yeah, I think definitely us going into detail with our conversation, we literally thought about the options and everything else. One, currently being with Luna and trying to experience her as herself, You try to be around your children as much as you can and enjoy them as much as you can for the amount of time that you have because they grow up fast on you. They really do.
Yeah.
So, one, going through that experience with Luna from the birth center was an insane one. I can probably put it on my resume. I'm a registered
He's a doula.
I'm a doula.
He is a doula. He really was like the one helping me the whole time there. It was really crazy. But anyways, I mean, to go back to this one though, I mean, we decided to move on forward and, we were happy with our decision and everything. And then once we brought it home, we sat everybody down after the trip.
It home.
the topic, the topic. Then, we sat everybody home, in the, in the living room and they were all freaking out too, like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah.
What's about to happen? And I'm like, so I'm pregnant. And then everybody freaked out, like happy, they were all like super happy. My mom started crying, my siblings started crying too. And then I was like, I wasn't ready. And I started crying. I'm all hormonal, So I'm like, I wasn't ready. But she's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, it's just, I wanted to do the right thing. And they're like, it's the right thing. You guys are happy. You guys are married. You guys have a good, happy family. Like, we're good. Don't worry. And so I think it was just like the beginning, like little freak out. But I had the smoothest, I want to say like, well, I guess smoother pregnancy with Helios than I did with Luna. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it just completely flipped on me. And then, you think back to this and you're like, damn, like how could I have like doubted like, maybe me moving forward. Yeah, but it was honestly like, it was the best decision that we did. But the way I think that we handled it was like really like a mature level. Like we really have to like talk about like, okay, this is where we're standing and this is where we're at right now. Yeah. What do we do? And I told him as well recently, so I was like, I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of bummed out sometimes that I'm like, I wish I would have had like a, yes, I'm pregnant. You know how some chicks go like that, but I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I'm just so caught up with like the kid life and everything. I'm so overwhelmed with so many things. And I think about a million different things at the same time. So it's a little like, tricky for me to be like, okay, that's it. But
but now that I think about it, I think the excitement has, though it wasn't present when we're like, okay, Helios is coming or the baby's coming. Yeah. I think he's actually done that for us in the matter of the time that he's been here with us. Every day with Luna and him is a genuine experience. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty funny how I think about it now because all of that energy and, per se, happiness that we should have had the moment of, no, every day he's an adventure. Every day is a different thing with these kids, and like they're, I didn't know, my children were gonna end up being the way that they are. I have my little Luna, I'm a little superstar, and then my little Helios is just a cute little fluffy chubby bunny over there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. That's what we call it, the struggle adventure. Yeah, exactly. Let me get you over here. Oh my god. Yeah. But going. But I mean, it was. I feel like it was just like, it all was meant to be, and it all like developed with these two, and the good stuff is just like it keeps coming out and out and out and out with them, and that's something that we feel we're like really fortunate with these two. We're like super lucky, and everyone tells us all the time, your kids. Dude, parenting, nobody prepares you for that. No. Nobody prepares you for that. Parenting is a lesson in a game in itself. Like, you wake up every day. And I guess with life, you can find a way to prepare life and try to find a way to move with things. But with children, every day is like, what you knew yesterday, psych. Yeah. We're going to reset it today. We're going to throw you a curveball today. I definitely agree with that because you want to see it as in a sense of like, all right,
set a routine, right? Set a pattern for the kids. Like, all right, this is how they should wake up. And the next thing you know, you wake up and like they beat you to the waking up. And you're like, where the hell's the kid? Like, holy fuck.
That happened to us. Like, that happened to me like last week because he had to take a certification class. And then, you know, I was alone with the kids again at home. And then, you know, I usually wake up at a certain time with the kids, but, you know, the kids hop on, or Luna hops onto the bed, and then you're like, all right, cool, you know, let's go. And she either, like, there's no peaceful awakening here. Like, it's just, you wake up because she's right there. She's like, mommy, let's go. Or you wake up, you know, before, you know, you wake up before her and the other, you know, when Helios wakes up and you're out there doing chores and shit at the house, you're doing a bunch of cool things, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're like, wait, I hear something. Or they come out. And then all of a sudden I find out that my deodorant's been like split in two in the room and the child probably ate it and there's like crazy shit going in the room. I'm like, what the hell? So you can't beat it. I mean, it's routine or not, shit always changes with them. But it's cool either way.
I could imagine that. So let me just touch on this subject right here. So
yeah,
when she asked you, like when she told you, what literally popped through your head? Because I feel like you guys, if outside looking in, right, you guys had the kid right away. I mean, I felt like it was a big move because the year, I want to say 2 years, 3 years prior to that, you guys had just gotten your guys' place. I remember you had to get in your car as well. Camaro, and everything just kind of snowballed down, right? Like,
well, we got married on February 2018, and I got pregnant with Luna in July. So of that year. So we didn't even go a whole year. It was like 5 months, like in between that. And then it was like, all right, cool. And everyone was like, damn, you guys didn't waste any time. So, you know, it wasn't done on purpose, but that's just the way that our life started, you know?
Look, I'm just going to give you all a quick sex ed class. That's how it happened. I'm sorry. We didn't hold back, goddammit. And I mean, it was pretty fast. Everybody talked about traveling and plans and stuff like that. I had other plans.
Yeah,
but those plans, you know, they weren't part of it. I think Luna, now we look at her as such an epic child because, one, what are the chances, literally, of her breaking through the freaking IOD, bro?
The seal, yeah.
The seal. The one thing, literally, it's like the Avengers coming in here protecting your ass, and somebody said, nah, bro, move along. Like, how? But now...
Beat you away, man. You gotta leave her alone, man. I'm fucking A. But that, like, honestly, like, when she told you, like, I'm pregnant, like, what was that, like, moment for you?
Honestly, dude, as a very mature individual now, I think the moment that she told me, I was actually scared. I was scared with Luna, because one... there's no handbook to how to be a father. Especially one like myself, if I don't even have a father. So how do you learn, right? So then to find out, okay, we're having another kid. Whoa, like this one's barely running around.
And he's still figuring things out too. Like he wasn't like, I came from a big family, right? Like I've there's kids always around me, whatever. And I've been experienced with the kids, but he's like the only one in his family because his older brother, you know, has his own family, and he's, you know, it's basically just been him and his mom. So he's not been around kids, and so for him it's like, shit, like I'm gonna have a little kid. I'm gonna have the one that I don't know what, you know, to do with. So
let alone, we didn't know if it was gonna be a boy or a girl.
Oh, so you guys waited?
Well,
sometime, not that much, but you know, we weren't.
Yeah. We made a whole video about it. I remember we got the letter and we're like, should we look at it? And they're like,
for Helios we did, yeah. And then for Luna, we just went to go do an ultrasound, and then they told us there. But we wanted to find with Luna. We found out like right before we went on a trip to go visit my family in Michigan, because I wanted my grandma to, you know, to know. No. And yeah, but with Helios, we did a whole little like gender reveal just at our house. And then I was like, yeah, I think it's gonna be a girl. But then I was like, I don't know, I think it's a boy. And then it was a boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was scary, dude. It was scary as hell.
I mean, like you, like what happened with you? Like when, you know, you found out, you know,
I remember.
You're gonna switch this around now. We're gonna interview you.
The 24-hour fitness days, I remember, bro.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say shocked. Like
shocked at what you did. The actions had a result. Huh?
Yeah, for sure to say that. I guess, you know, like not to be beating corners. It was planned, but you know, life happens, and things happen for a reason.
Yeah,
and one thing I always tell everybody else, like, because of that experience, made me a better person, made me a better dad. Because I was fucking still naive. I was still being fucking reckless. I was still being a pendejo. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys could recall certain events. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, so like I said, it was a lot of growing up for sure, and I know that those type of behaviors wasn't acceptable. Like now looking back, I get it, but again, if it wasn't for those actions, I wouldn't be who I am now.
Who you are now.
And I mean, like I made peace. I made peace with the situation, and we are where we are. And all I could do is just do the best for Prince. You know I mean? That's honestly, like going back to Oscar. Even like I didn't have my dad either. You know what I mean? Like, so I already knew how it felt like. What was it, and how it felt like not having a dad around the picture, like not seeking somebody and fucking feeling like shit. And your mom could only do so much. You know what I mean? My mom did her best, but she can't give you the confidence as a guy. You know, like
a strong woman like our mothers. I would say. I would actually say all of the mothers in this room, actually, they can play the role of a man and a woman, but there's only certain things they can teach you. Yeah. Really, there needs to be a male role model.
I think that they can teach you both parts, but the thing is that when you're a single parent, and I can't speak with one, I mean, I can't say it from experience because I'm not one, but maybe this is what I think, right? I think that as a single parent, I said, you know what I think. I think that if you were like a single parent, like if I were a single parent, I would be so like, you know, I'm trying to do everything that I can and like, you know, substitute for the person that's not there with me at the time doing this together with me. So, you know, whether you're co-parenting or not, but if you're doing everything as a mother and you're still trying to do everything and be that acting father for your child or whatever, like it's not that you can't get it from, you know, your mom, but it's just that your mom can only do so much, you know, because she, you know, she's trying to play two roles. You know, she's getting the responsibility that, como se dice, no le tocó.
Exactly.
Know? So.
And like just to touch off that, it's your mom as herself, she's her own person, right? She has her own emotions that she's going through. She's like dealing with her own mental health,
her own
physical
struggles,
health, her own struggles. So now imagine like my mom doing that mom and dad role, and then like hearing me, why don't you let me see my dad? And she's like, go see him. Like, I'm not hiding nothing from you.
Yeah.
And you figure it out.
And you figure it out. You know, like, and that's what I respect about my mom. She never talked shit. Like every now and when I got older and she saw me hurt because I was reaching out for him and he wasn't there.
She put you through the experience.
She put you, exactly. The experience is what taught me, like, not to be like that for my son. And I told myself, no matter what ever happens, if I ever had a kid, which I did, I would always be there for my son.
Yeah.
And because it's not
your
his fault.
Your kids are going to see it. If whatever you do, and, you know, if you are, you know, single or not, they're always going to look up to you. The actions that you took, like, you know, you don't know if your kid is ever going to be a single parent one day, but if they see from experience with their parents how they handle it, it's whatever you put out there, you know, is best for them, for them to see that it's a positive thing that they can like make something, you know, positive out of something negative, I guess, you know, or a complicated situation or whatever, make light of that situation. So I think that's the most important thing to do is, you know, that as a parent, like if you can't give them, if you wanted to give them whatever you wanted to give them, but it wasn't meant to be, then give the best that you can, you know? So.
I do want to touch on the factor that kids do, at least I want to speak on my behalf, and maybe a 90% percentile that covers it, they do make you a better person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the motivation they bring to your life and everything is unbelievable.
And yeah, exactly. Going on that, it's just like if the other person doesn't want to be there, it's their loss. You know what I mean, it's your gain, and but you can't control how one person acts or how they behave or certain actions because at the end of the day, that's their own person, their own decision, and you just could only be in charge of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so like now to flip it back on you guys, right? How do you feel like? I'm gonna be realistic. Like, how do you feel like? Financially, like what happened to me, dude, I was fucking shitting bricks. Like, oh my fucking god, what the fuck am I doing?
Honestly, when it came down, are we talking about Luna or with Helios, or like from the beginning?
Just from the beginning. Yeah.
Honestly, from the beginning, it was pretty crazy, and we've had very mature conversations about both sides with Helios and Luna. I mean, financially speaking, that was the one thing that was always killing me. And my thing was, it's like if I'm not making a certain amount, I know how much of a struggle it's gonna be, right? Go back to the subject of struggle adventures. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So that drove me to get to a certain point that I don't think I've ever reached when I was doing my career and everything. And with that, I think I was constantly pursuing something out of my own control. I had to. I had no other.
Yeah.
Because realistically speaking, I don't think people ever speak on how uncomfortable it gets maybe as a guy who has to work, right, that if you're not making enough, you got to worry about bills, you got to worry about everything that's on top, and now you have a whole life coming.
Exactly.
You can't put that pressure on children. It's not their fault. You know, like I always tell Wendy, whatever the kids do in their life, I'm not expecting anything back from them because they didn't ask to be here. We have to give them the best life that we can, which I think we've done a pretty good job about.
Yeah. I think in the beginning, like for the financial aspect of this, like when I was pregnant with Luna, I was working, I was still working. And I actually had just gotten a new job. And, I went throughout, my job, working and everything. And I've always told myself this, like when I get pregnant one day, if I get pregnant, I don't want to be, I don't want to continue working through that. Like I don't want, if it's possible, I want to stay at home with the babies, which towards the end, I was kind of worried because he was working, he was making, decent money, but, when you have a kid, you don't know what you're going to expect. You're like, you don't know what bills are going to come after that. I mean, we're pretty resourceful, and stuff like that. And we still had, money, whatever, but you never know with kids, you never know what else is going to come out and everything. And, we do have support around, but we try to be very independent with each other. No matter the support around us, we try to be very independent and take care of our business with each other, just ourselves. Because you never know when that support might, go away, and then you're just depending on it the whole time. So if the help is there, like I appreciate it, but usually we turn it down just because we want to handle it on our own. And so I was kind of stressing because I was like, well, there's stuff going on with insurance and stuff like that. And I don't know if we're going to be able to have enough money for the delivery and blah, 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 whatever. But everything worked out fine. Thankfully, at the time, I guess I made right under the amount so that I can qualify for Medi-Cal. So things were covered. But I ended up having a C-section. So now imagine if I didn't have insurance, how much I would have had to pay for a C-section. Like $60,000 maybe, and plus hospital stay, like... No. So, thankfully, the cards were in our favor, and, we got that handled. But with Helios, and with Luna, we always went on, very good, we usually didn't struggle that much. I think towards the end, we were kind of moving houses, right? Yeah. We were moving homes, because we were selling, or we got this new mobile home, and then we were moving from there because there was problems at the park where we were living in.
The neighbors were shit.
Yeah, they were just the manager and everything was like, it's all crappy. So we were like, we can't live here. Peacefully we cannot. So we found, we have one of my mom's clients, had property, and so, he rented it out for us. And so that's where we're at right now. And, been the most peaceful place ever. So in the middle of that, my parents are also going through, divorce and stuff like that too. That took a really big toll on me as well. I'm dealing with, trying to work as much as possible to make enough money for when I do, go on maternity leave. So I'm, you're 7-8 months pregnant and you're like, fuck, I'm tired. I want to take a break now finally. And so we did struggle. I think towards the end I was freaking out a little bit because I was like, how are we gonna, we couldn't sell the house at the time. We couldn't find a buyer, and we were paying for two places for rent. We were paying the rent for the mobile home and plus our current spot. And so we were like, fuck, I don't know how much we're going to be able to hold off. And so we were like, I was kind of freaking out. I was like, oh my God, we're probably going to sell my car and everything else. I'm like, oh shit, what are we going to do? But at the end, house got sold. We got our shit moved and everything. Again, it's just like everything happened towards the very end, but like a quick, and we were lucky, I think it was
getting pretty difficult around that time. Now that I remember.
I think it was luck. And then, it also helped the fact that he worked a couple minutes, 5 minutes away from the house. So he didn't have to commute long. The money that I was going to end up having to pay for a daycare somewhere if I were to still work, I made it up by just staying at home, So everything worked out fine right there. With Helios, I think we were okay still.
Helios was a bit of a surprise. He just kind of one, from the pregnancy, obviously it was a surprise, right? Two, from the whole process of him being in the womb, she didn't even struggle. I was almost kind of like, this is a prank, bruh. This ain't even happening. To him being born, the calmest baby ever.
Calmest of everything. But
But monetarily speaking, I think we were in a much better place then. I kept working my ass off to try to make more.
Yeah.
And the window was open, and the opportunities came, so I took them, obviously. But
and when you have the first one, you already kind of know what to expect a little bit for the second one. So, you know, you become a little more extra resourceful and a little more, you know.
Like, I got this, I'm a priority.
Kind of, you know. And so, but it is tricky, though, where we are right now, though, because, you know, we did want to buy a house. We wanted to buy a house, and we wanted to settle in somewhere for our kids and stuff. And, you know, just because out of, you know, personal things with our family and everything, we all want to remain together. We're kind of tight where we live. And so, like, imagine living your whole family, literally your whole family in one room. Kind of so that's a little tricky, but I guess that's the only really struggle or with the financial part for the kids. And thankfully we're gonna make some moves in the near future to accommodate for all of us there, and you know we'll all be good there. But if, like, right now with the current situation that everyone's going through San Diego with like freaking crazy rent and everything else, if we had to live on our own, like, we would be very much like struggling a lot.
I tell Wendy all the time, I'd have to get 2 jobs, no matter what.
Yeah.
I'd have to get 2 jobs. And it's not the most likable idea.
Oh, fuck no.
And I'm 100% sure that there's people out there doing it. You know, shout outs to them. Yeah. But realistically speaking, you have to do the more important role of your life as well. And I think it's kind of hard sometimes for parents to understand that. Being present in your child's life is very important. Yeah. It's super important. I know that.
Yeah. So
where are you?
Yeah, I mean, like, for sure, like, speaking on that, like, I used to work like fucking 3 jobs, 3 jobs.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, man, I was like cracked out, you know, bags on bags on bags. But
we would talk about it. We'd be like, damn, Victor's over here, like, you know, yoked out and, you know.
Yeah, but, no sleep. Bro, yeah. But to tell you on that, honestly, it's more or less, I realized once I got hurt how much more it was really important being there for my son. You know what I mean? I was there, like, don't get me wrong, I was there with my son throughout the years prior, but really, like, sitting down and, like, being there more involved, like, it's a huge difference. And you start, it's funny because the guy Adam I previously interviewed, he touched on it. Like, you start to realize, like, there's a lot of things that you miss out on. Like, and it may not be big moments, but it's the small things that, like, you're like, fuck, it's like.
Yeah.
Let me say that with Luna, that was the case with me. With Luna, literally, even, what was it, FMLA? I think it took 2 weeks because I was like,
no, you didn't take it. Actually, he didn't take it.
It took
for
like 2 weeks off or something like that.
He just took time off. But he never took FMLA. And I always told him, like, take it. He would be like, no, you know, he was a little bit more like, you know, tied to his job there.
Yeah,
you know,
he was stuck to it. I was stuck to it, and I was like, no, I need to work. You know, I need to work. Like, I will make time for the child. I will make time for the baby, and then, you know, shit happened with his company.
Well, to be fair, like, a lot of responsibility fell on his shoulders too. So he felt like, you know, if I cannot leave, like, if I leave, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know, my job's gonna be, like, you know, secure or not, like his position or whatever. So I understand why he didn't want to take off like that. But I mean, honestly, like, I've always told him, I think I've been the bigger one out of both of us to be like, you know, you have to prioritize your family all the time, no matter what. I mean, put your responsibilities obviously in line with, you know, your perspective, but don't lose sight of your family. Always prioritize them as much as possible, because you are going, I mean, your kids are going to grow up so fast, and you're going to regret not being able to spend that time with them. You know, if one day, you know, your kids tell you like, hey, can you please stay home? Like, take the day off if you can, you know. If it's not like a dire, like, what is one day going to kill? You know, you can struggle a little bit more maybe the next pay cycle or something, but stay a little, you know, a little bit more with your kids. It's not gonna kill you. And a lot of times there would be days where, like, you know, I would tell them, like, you know, you're not feeling well, like, take the day off. Like, you really do. You don't have to slave your days away. You know, if you do that, then by the time you get home, you're still you're clocked out mentally, and your child is like waiting for you here. So I'm like, you do need to make time for just work, just home stuff, and your own personal life. You really do have to prioritize those stuff. Or give them their own, like, you know, times, but try not to mix them as much as possible. Because I mean, your time at home, like, you know, when he did take FMLA with Helios, I think he saw it a little bit more. You know, he saw it like the more value that you know, everything that you're missing, you know, from being at work.
It felt like a strange reset, even with Luna, because I took FMLA really to be there for Wendy and obviously Helios. But Helios was kind of like, you guys can
handle it.
You guys can handle it. Like, literally, Helios would sleep all day long. We'd almost be like, yo, is he alive? Like, and a lot of that time I got to spend with Luna, actually. a lot of time with Luna because he was just sleeping.
He would just sleep, and we were freaking out the whole time. We're like, oh my God, I don't know how it's gonna be with the second one. We're like, it basically felt like we did not have another kid. Like we were just like, where's the? He's just sleeping the whole time. But I mean, it's, you know, I think we're also lucky to be able to have that opportunity to have a family because not everybody gets that. No. You know, and so if you get it, take it, like just take it, because it's not guaranteed to everybody, and people that don't have it wish and they would kill to have it. You know, so I think it was a lucky thing that we had it, you know. I
mean, just to touch on that, like I think I was like that, like too, with Oscar, like from Oscar's perspective, like very workaholic, but I don't, it's just my perspective and my thought process, like why I was like that, because you want to make sure, like, it's you. At the end of the day, you're the one that's providing for your family, and you can't afford any fuck ups, even though it may not be that serious. But in your eyes, it's like I'm giving an opportunity for them to give a reason for them to look bad at me, or like look at my work poorly, or like, hey, this guy's calling out, like he's not reliable, and that was the mindset I had. And it sucks because, I mean, like, against all this pressure that we put on ourselves. Right, it's all that pressure that you put on yourself, that you don't want to fail your family, you don't want to fail your kid, you want to fail yourself
as a provider.
And for me, it's like work is all I have to make sure that I can provide for you guys, and it takes a lot for growth to understand that it's not only about the work and where you're coming from. Like, you got to make sure you're there presently as well, and that's those little moments that you hit.
You got to be a dad, you got to be a father, you got to be a husband, and also continue to date, and also focus on everything else. Like, you have to do multiple things, and that I understand that. I've never gone through anxiety until I think Luna came in, and I was like, yo, I have to work. Literally, there was days, because of the type of work that I would do, that if it's raining, people would be like, oh, no, it's raining, I'm calling out. Nah, dude, I would come home drenched, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm doing my walk-arounds. Like, I don't care what the weather's like. Like, I'm going to get this money. I had to. And that was always the case. Luckily, we didn't have storms. I'd be shocked to death.
But the good thing, too, though, like with us, I always, like, try to, like, whenever he would be like, I probably need to get a second job, I would try to reassure him that we're doing good no matter what. And that I always, you know, I still continue to do, like, photography things on my end. And no matter what, I will always, like, just because I'm a stay-at-home does not mean that I'm not working. I'm always behind the scene trying to find something to make an extra dollar, no matter, like, you know, selling things, or, you know, my photography business, and, you know, other little things here and there. I usually try not to turn things down, just because it's an opportunity for me to, you know, bring something to the table, because as a stay-at-home mom, you also feel like, you know, you're doing a lot of work at home, but because you don't have a job, I feel like a lot of like women experience the same thing too, that like, you also want to be a provider. You want to bring, you know, a half part in there, and feel like you're also being able to, like, here, babe, like, take a break. Like, you know, I got this a little bit right now. And it happened a lot of times. I would be like, hey, you know, like, I know he made, you know, hundreds and thousands of dollars at work, but then, you know, the couple times that I made a couple, you know, hundred or whatever with a little photo shoot, I'd be like, look, babe, you know, like, he like a little kid, like, I got my money. And he would always like be like, fuck yeah, babe, you know, like, that's, you know, and thank you for helping me. And I would call it petty change, you know, but he's always like, no, it's not petty change.
It's not. I would always motivate her and tell her, like, it doesn't matter what you're bringing to the table, because if it fulfills her, and anything that she would bring to the table mattered. And it would never matter about, like, because I was the worst monetarily before I had kids. She knew that. She got me, like, in line with how to do everything.
This fool would pay like $30 for a freaking, like, an outfit on freaking video games, and I'd be like, really?
I would spend my money on stupid shit.
It's all about growing up, right?
You know, you grow up, you have kids, and then they're like, oh, fuck, they gotta eat. What you mean you ain't got the money? No, they gotta eat. But anything that she bring to the table, a lot of the times, I'd always say, it doesn't matter. She would have a tendency of feeling kind of odd, because everything would be coming from my end. But I would constantly tell her, like, it doesn't matter. Everything you bring to the table is an important role of what we have to do.
Yeah. And a lot of times, you know, the you know, the money, the little extra money that I made, you know, on the side with things actually did, like, help to supply for, you know, maybe, you know, he just didn't go to work, you know, one of the days out of that, you know, that week or whatever.
And that covered that day.
Exactly. But then he stayed home with us, you know, and, you know, we had a good time. We went out, whatever. We did something with the kids. So, you know, while I busted ass or whatever, but he took a break, you know, so that would make me happy. And that's what, you know, we feel like as a team working with each other, we give each other that support. And I think that everybody deserves that
partnership.
Yeah. Because it's so fucking hard when you feel like, you know, as a dad, you have to provide everything. And if you're struggling, if you're let go, if you're demoted or your hours are cut or whatever the hell happens, COVID hit, you know, and all of a sudden your money is less. And now you're like, what do I do as a provider? So it hurts. It hurts to see, you know, somebody struggling that way. But, you know, no matter what, though, there's so many things out there that like can help somebody in the time of crisis, you know. It's just looking for those things and just kind of regaining yourself and just stay a little grounded, try not to freak out so much. There's so many things that can help you out. And I think that a lot of times, like, you know, if he had little moments to like freak out or something, I would tell him like, look, it's okay. We got this, you know, we got this.
Yeah, she's always been the reassuring type. I'm like a fucking bull, bro. I come in, these are the orders, and I'm running through the wall. But you're going to hit something. Yeah, and the moment that I hit something, I'd always be the person to question everything. I'm like, damn, are we doing well? Are we doing okay? Are you okay? Mm-hmm. You know, I've always said, if I'm not fine or if you're not fine, then something's going to be off. You know, we got to make sure that we're constantly checking each other.
It's that communication.
Yeah.
And even if we had communication, there'd be days that we would be struggling with each other, like, you know, to keep each other mentally sane as well, you know. And it's not because it looked all nice and pretty and shit. Like, no, we had a lot of days where we were like, you know, he was battling with his own self, you know, individually, and then so did I. And, you know, I call them seasons. You know, sometimes, you know, they would come and go and just be like, fuck, I feel like, I don't know, like I'm not doing enough, or like I want to do more. And you feel that hunger, but like you're starving for it, and you don't find anything to feed you for it, you know. But it's just that he would ask me, like he said, you know, hey, how we doing? Are we doing good? And I would tell him like, yeah, we're doing good. And sometimes we weren't doing good, but I had to say we are doing good because I didn't want him to freak out. And I knew that I had something in the works, you know, coming, and that it was going to be okay eventually. Or things were going to align themselves no matter what. And they always did, you know. So I feel like just keeping yourself a little, like, you know, just a little calm helps a lot. And it's hard. It's a hard thing to do for a lot of people because a lot of people can stay that way.
Well, yeah. You know? I think, like, just from outside speaking in, like, from seeing you guys, is like, from the moment I met you guys, from 24 days, like 2018, 2017, like, there's a lot of growth between you guys, and that's awesome. I mean, like, well, we're almost, what, 6-7 years? I just turned 29, yo. That's what I'm saying, 29. But how long have you guys been together, though? I mean,
9 years.
Yeah. 9 years. So think about this: 9 years from that moment you guys met to where you're at, and how much growth and progressions you guys have.
Yeah, we're not the same people. 100% not the same people. Yeah.
It's motivational. It really is. I think I was always constantly talking about, like, there's something about being with somebody who becomes not just your partner, but, like, what do they say? Your ride or die? Your ride or die? Or
my rib.
Your rib, like, part of your rib, technically, right? And I say that because I'd probably be getting lost a lot of times, so if I wasn't part of her rib, I'd be a desmadre.
No, but it's a mutual thing, though. I mean, a lot of times, like, I might not seem like, you know, the type that, like, maybe is like a, you know, like that needy girl that's always like, oh my god, I need this or whatever. And like I kind of get quiet when I'm like thinking about things a lot. When things start to get a little serious for me, I get very quiet, and he notices that. He's like, what's going on?
Read her like a book, bro. Yeah. I walk into the house. I used to walk home and say, I used to walk inside the house and I would be like, what's going on? Nothing's going on. Lies. I can read it like a book.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. And I think it goes both ways mutually.
Yeah. There's a lot of times too where I don't know what's going on in my own mind too. Yeah. Like I have so many things going on that it's like the moment that like someone asks you like, are you doing okay? And you're like, fuck, why'd they ask that?
You're like, yeah. Why? I think so.
Yeah. So but it's just like, I don't know, like if you're doing so many things, like I'm that kind of person. I kind of just get quiet, and I'm there's a lot going on in my mind. But it takes a lot of work for me to kind of dig that out and voice that. So it's he helps me a lot to kind of like dig that out of me, and then we talk it out, and a lot of times I feel a lot better, you know, talking about that.
Me, bro. I always tell her that she's the crab.
He wiggles
and I bring the water, bro. I do this shit with everybody. Like, I don't know what it is.
It's a smile, man. It's that big old smile that you got, man. Super jolly. Yeah. But look, all right, let me ask you this. Who was the first one to make the move out of both you guys? Who was the one that hit on who?
Guess who?
Dude, she has a whole story behind this, bro. This is like, honestly, I've said it before. This seems like out of a corny love story. I didn't even know about it. Obviously, because she had her eyes on me before I even. She was proud.
Who do you think made the first?
Well, I already said it. I already said it. It was you the whole time.
Oh, goddamn. Okay.
So how'd you make the move? Like, did you like?
Nah, you gotta tell the story.
Oh, there we go.
I'll give you the short story because it's kind of a lot. It's like cheesy, but So remember we used to work at the Hornblower before.
Yeah.
Before that, I used to work at the Midway Museum, and I didn't have a car back then, so I would take the trolley to work all the time. And in the mornings, I would go, I would stop at, American Plaza or something like that. That one trolley stop downtown. Mm-hmm. And there's a Starbucks right out there. So I would get my little coffee, and then I would walk, to, Midway. I would always get there early because it was my first job, so I never wanted to be late. And in the morning, there's a bunch of grumpy old people just kind of working out there. They're all like, nobody wants to say nothing. So I'm always like, good morning. And then nobody said nothing.
They were like, fuck off.
Yeah, and he worked at Hornblower. So he worked in the ticket booth. And he happened to work the early shifts once in a while when I would pass by in front of the Midway, like on the way to, my job. I would see this guy with really curly, spirally hair. And you don't see it right now, obviously, because he's got his short hair. He's got a little bald now. But no, but he used to have really, like, long, spirally curly hair. Like Luna. Luna. She used to have, a lot of hair of that. And I would always see this guy with curly hair, like, smile at me. And, he would look up because he would be, like, on a tablet or a clipboard or whatever. And he would, like, look up and he would smile at me or he would, like, wave hi. And I would be like, hi. And so I never went up to him, approached him, nothing. I just was always like, someone polite, saying something hi to me.
Out of all the grumpy people.
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. And so, time passed or whatever. I would still work at the Midway. Then they told me it was going to be closing down. And so I was like, well, I need to get another job. And I applied at Hornblower. Mm-hmm. Not because of him or nothing. I just was like, they take pictures too. I was like, well, I'm going to apply everywhere. But I just thought like, it's right next door. Let me just submit an application. Yeah. And then they wanted me to work there. And so they're like, come for an interview and everything. And then once I was going through the interview process, and then I was like, oh shit, I was like, I might get to see that guy that always says hi to me all the time. Mm-hmm. That curly hair boy. And so Christmas Day, this was like towards the end of the year, but then Christmas Day, my manager calls me, he was like, hey, can you come in for, you want to start your first day. I know it's a holiday, but you'll get double time, whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll come in, whatever. So Christmas Day was my first day working, and I get there early in the morning. And so he was working with another girl, this other white girl named Amanda. And when I come in, that girl, she was really kind of the reason why, like, we were pushed together. She knew, yeah. But I walk in the ticket booth, and because I don't know, I'm supposed to meet this one person there, but I don't see him anywhere. And I'm like, where the fuck do I go? So I walk in the ticket booth, and then, he's there. He's there in Amanda. And I was like, hey, I'm, new here, supposed to meet Spencer or something like that here. And then they're like, yeah, cool. And he's still not in yet, but, just chill here for a little bit. And then I was just talking with them. I was there 30 minutes early. So I was just talking with both of them, and they were really cool. And I was like, all right, cool. Time passed by, like maybe about month and a half. And I was kind of getting interested in him. And then you like shaved your head or something, huh?
Yeah, I think I had to. Hair. I got tired of the long ass hair, and I was like, let me just get rid of all of this. God, it was too much of a mess. He like shaved his head, and then he walks in one other day that I'm working as well, and then I was like, oh shit, that's Oscar. And I was like, oh, that looks a little cute, And so after that, we were just hanging out more and more and more. And there was another, one of my other coworker friends there. Her name was Margot. And she was also, me and her like hung out a lot. And so he would go to this hookah lounge in downtown a lot. And then we just hung out. Like we hung out. We would go eat. We would go smoke to the hookah lounge. And then, one more hangout and another more. And we just got closer and closer. Yeah. And we would vibe with each other. We would like really get along with each other. And it was like no one else I've ever talked to. Like he was a different soul, different energy, That was a whole ass experience.
He was a whole ass experience, yeah. Before that though, like I had gone through like a crazy fucking relationship. It was like I don't even want to talk about that, but it was months ago. So I'm I'm not like hungover on that one or even the exes. Like I was not even thinking of anyone at all.
So no rebound.
Nobody to come in, nothing at all. And then here comes this one person that's just talking your ear really good. Like, God damn, this guy's like, he's the shit. He's legit.
Dude, the ticket booth days were nuts. Yeah. Because I remember working with, she mentioned Amanda, Margot, and I forgot somebody else. There was also another guy there named Juan. So we all just clicked so well. And before me and her started even hanging out, I was just like, oh, that girl's cute, you know? And then Amanda, I remember her telling me, I don't know, friend, you and her are going to be together. I can tell. And Amanda was a lot older than all of us. Yeah. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't see it. I was like, well, what makes you think I would be with her? She's like, trust me, it's going to happen. And you guys are.
Or like the only two like beaners or two.
Right?
You know? I don't know what it is, but something about you guys is the only Mexicans.
She knew, dude. She knew. She just had this thing constantly to know.
We would start like asking each other when we would work, you know, and we would like maybe switch our shifts around so we can kind of work around each other and shit, like as friends, you know. But then again, we just would hang out more and more, and then he would invite me over to his house, and like, you know, nothing would happen. We would just talk.
Cochinos.
Yeah, but we would really just get into like really deep conversations, and you know,
talking for hours.
Yeah, we would talk, and I think that was like something so like appealing to me, because I'm like, how, like, in this day and age, can you sit there and talk with somebody like this deep in conversation and not it go another step? Like, it's just talking, you know, and it was a good company. And so, you know, my days would fly by like that, you know, just, I was like, it was such a smooth day with him all the time. So, then on Valentine's Day came around, and again, keep in mind, I started working on Christmas Day. So this was Valentine's Day. It was like maybe 2 months after. Yeah, 2 months after. Like, I fell in there quick. And in Valentine's Day, I woke up and I was like, you know, like, we were not dating. We were just like really hanging out, but like we felt it with each other. We were like, we're kind of a thing, you know?
I think that we had worked like a double shift or something, right? Because
you worked, I worked first. It was like a early afternoon shift or whatever. And then he worked the dinner shift, which ended around 7:30-ish or so. And I was walking from one ticket booth to the other because they had two locations. And it was about maybe like 3/4 of a mile distance. So I'm walking from one spot to the other because I parked around there. And so, you know, I told myself that day, I was like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen today, but I was like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something today. I don't know what it is, but we're going to do something today. And so, you know, I'm walking over there, and then I didn't know that he was working there. Incidentally, he was the only one working there. Were you alone or someone else?
I think I was closing up the shop, and she was asking me, what are you going to do today? I was like,
I just came in. I was talking with him. I was just talking with him.
Yeah.
Trapped in the corner.
No, like a creeper. She was like, what are you going to be doing today? And I was like, I don't think anything special. It's just like any other day. She's like, but it's Valentine's Day. You're not going to do anything? I was like, no, I don't think so. And she was like, hey, how about we do this? We go get some food. And I was like, bro, keep in mind at that time, I was dead fucking broke. And I was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, you want to go eat? I was like, I'm not even going to lie. I don't even have any money.
I know, I just told him, I was like, have you had anything to eat yet? He was like, no, not really. And I was like, what are you trying to do today? I'm like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go hang out? I was like, I don't know, kind of short on funds, you know, because we usually would go to the hookah lounge or hang out with his friend.
Fucking crackhead.
And then I was like, you know what? Don't even trip. I got you. I was like, it's fine. I'm like, you know what? Man. Have you ever had Persian food before? And he's like, no, I actually have never had. And I was like, I got you. I'm going to take you to the spot. It's sick as hell. Like, you know, you're going to have this bomb ass food. Like, I got you. Don't even worry. And he's like, all right, yeah, I'm down, you know. And he was like asking me like, what is Persian food? Like, what is it? And I'm like, don't even worry. This is like the most delicious food you're going to have. And so, you know, I got it to go because I was like, if we go eat it there, I didn't want to make it all like too like, hey, we're on a date. Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't.
We literally went to go eat it at my house.
No, so but I got it. Because that was a normal thing. We would go to his house just to eat. True. So it wasn't like a different thing, you know. And we just got it, and then you know we went to his house, and we're just in his room like we're eating, you know, like just homies, like we're eating food, and we're like, he's like, yeah, this is fucking bomb. And then again, we had another really cool conversation, and then I think after that was like literally like I think he realized, and both I realized as well, we're like we're a thing, and we're already together. Within like 4 days, like it was just like one like action after the other. Like we did things within 4 days that maybe could have like happened over months, and it just felt natural.
You ever have any gravitational pull to somebody? Like it just happens, you know? Yeah, it could be friendships, it could be literally lovers, and that's exactly what happened with her. Literally, I even remember though from the beginning, and I'm gonna throw this out there because I know it's probably gonna come up in a comment or a conversation. I hated the idea that she paid for dinner that day. I was like, no. I was like, dude. I was like, how are you that guy? And she's
I didn't though. I really didn't give a shit. I was just like, I'm just trying to have a good time with you. Like, I didn't care, you know.
And I remember telling her that. She's like, it's all good. She's like, you don't have to worry about it. I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. The man in me is like, no, don't. But
my ego, no.
But you know what? It's like if I'm to kind of like not go off the rails, dude, that is honestly a sign of like a healthy mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I've always, for the longest time, even as we got older, I was like, nah, keep your money to yourself. Like, I'm paying for it. And then what would happen when I'd be broke? Hey, let's go do something. Fuck. I don't got money. She's like, well, I do. I was like, I guess.
And it was never like, and like, he would never be like, hey, can you like let me borrow money or something? Like a fucking, you know, other shitty exes and shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But he would never be like, you know, hey, like, let me, you know, can I borrow money? No, I would always be like, okay, well, if he said like it wasn't, you know, it wasn't his time or whatever, be like, no, it's okay, come on, let's go do something. You know, like I refused to take no for a fucking answer. I was like straight Norbit, you know.
Yo, Norbit, and I think our daughter's like that, yo.
That's funny.
Luna.
She dead as is.
No, but not like in a hostile way though. Like I wasn't like that. No. But yeah, it was just like, you know, we're gonna go hang out, and then afterwards, you know, on the 18th, we were just like, we're a thing, man, we're a thing, and we made it official. And then I mean,
a lot of our friends knew it. They're like, we're waiting for this.
Yeah. So that was that story there.
That's funny. That's like actually the first time I really heard it right now.
Yo. Really? I thought we had told you this before, but maybe
like briefly, like like to go in depth, like where you're at.
Yeah.
But it's cool because like she trapped you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just playing, but like she busted a real thing. Like when she offered to pay, like as a guy, fuck, that sucks. Dude. But that's cool that she's giving out. You know what I mean? A lot of girls, even now these days, like don't do that. And I'm lucky I found that as well. But my partner that I'm with, and she's like, I got it. I was like, no, like I got it. She's like, no, I got it. Like we kind of fight over that, but she's like, all right,
that's
cool.
how we were. Yeah.
That's cool. You know what I mean? That's fucking cool that you guys.
I really don't think that there's anything bad when you're paying with that stuff. I think maybe, you know, hey, to each their own. Everybody, you know, some people want to cougar it out, be sugar daddies or whatever the hell. But I mean, I don't think that there's anything wrong if you're like, you know, paying for your man. The other way around, like it's you're just gonna have a good time with each other. If you're not focusing on the monetary part, you're gonna focus on everything else. And I think that that's like something like maybe, you know, he was so focused on like, you know, me as a man and everything. It's like, okay, well, you as a man, if you weren't able to pay for that, and you weren't gonna allow me to pay for that, you were gonna miss out on a good ass time over your man mentality.
Yeah, that is true.
So who knows what would have happened if he would have been like, no, it's okay, let me just go home.
Would you have to give him another try?
I mean, I don't know what would have happened, but I would have felt like rejected a little bit, you know, because I would have been like, damn, shit, man. Like, fuck, I thought we were going to go out. But I think, you know, eventually, like, because I feel like we really were meant to be together. I think it would have happened eventually again. But it just was so much sweeter because it happened on Valentine's Day, you know? And it wasn't like the whole, like, you know, you're in the love spirit or nothing, man. It was just like,
two friends.
We happened to be available. We happened to be in the moment of it. And, you know, it felt natural and we went along with it. So, you know, I know a lot of people, you know, they don't like, oh, you've been together with this person for so long. Or like, you guys must have been together for nah, we were together like a freaking blink. And then we've been together ever since.
Sorry to cut you off, but so it never felt rushed for you guys at all.
Never. No. Even if you look at the time, it is a little short amount of time, but it never felt rushed. It felt like it was just the right thing to do at the time.
It's pretty amazing to be able to say that you get to grow with a partner and actually experience life.
Yeah.
Not just experience life, but from where you met us to actually like where you know us now. It's been an experience literally just to grow up.
Well, yeah.
To grow up. I mean, you go from kids to having kids. That's what it is. It's kind of weird, you know, but there's somebody for everybody out there.
Of course. No, I definitely agree on that. Then let me like top it off with this question right here. Is this the last baby?
I think so. I don't want to say yes or no because before Luna, we said we were not going to have any kids at all. And we just had our baby.
You know what's crazy, bro? I didn't want kids.
No?
I didn't want kids at all.
Like, absolutely nothing. He was like, no, I'm never going to have kids.
Honestly, I think it was going to be probably like our make or break for us, like together, because she wanted kids.
I know, and not that I was like, I want kids one day. Like,
yeah,
no.
But she put it out there. She was like, I want kids.
Yeah, one day, like, I think it would be nice to have kids. I wasn't dying to have kids, and I wasn't like, we must have kids. It's a deal breaker. No. But, I don't know. I mean, if you're with the right person, if it's meant to be, I think that no matter what, like, it's just, you're gonna work with it. And then you don't know what wonders are gonna lie ahead of it. And they did for us.
Well, yeah, just speak about that. You had the IED. I mean, I like to call it the chip, but I get in trouble for saying it. But yeah, like I said, like it happened. Yeah. But that thing's supposed to be like 99.9%.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Oscar, you monster. But
sheesh. Oscar el poderoso.
Yeah, man. But like going back on that, it's just like it happened, and you guys are making the best out of it. Yeah. I mean, you guys are, and it's crazy because they didn't split you guys apart. Because shit like that tends to happen. I've seen it where it happened. Take example.
Well, I mean, we're also like we're already married as well. I think that also kind of makes like, you know, not that it's like you're trapped or something, you know. But no, I think you're already married, and that's like a married situation, not a problem, but something that you have to deal with. If you did, I mean, anyone, whether you're married or not, you can anyone can leave. Anyone can leave, but when you're you know, already devoted to each other and you've already made a vow to each other, like no matter what it is, like you're gonna stick with each other. And I think with Luna though, when we did find out, we were like, holy shit, like, you know, I was a little shocked in the beginning too, but when I told him, he was happy, and then I was like, oh my god, thank fucking god you're happy. I honestly thought he wasn't, because the how much he's expressed that he didn't want to have kids, but when I told him, he was like, I'm gonna be a dad, and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be a dad.
Because like I said, one, I didn't want kids.
But why is that? Sorry to cut you off.
I didn't want kids because one, as a person who didn't have parental figures, you don't know how you're gonna parent. But you learn that now as you go. Mm-hmm. And not just that, but I didn't want kids in general because maybe I was scared at the time of like, oh, bro, you got to grow up, you know? Yeah. And now how I see it, it's like, all right, cool. Luna came out, and it was the greatest thing that could have ever happened. And I almost really put it out there. If something ain't going right in your life and you're with a partner for a long-ass time now, I generally do think bring something else into the picture that you have no control of, like a child, and you have no option but to make sure this child actually lives, because it sounds crazy to put it like that. Yeah. And it's going to change your perspective as a parent, as a person. It'll change your perspective, and it'll change you entirely. Because now how I look at it, I was an immature little boy, in a sense, back then.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it might work for some people, but others is like...
for some, and it might work for others. But.
Yeah, that's like a, you know, don't just bring it in. I think it just like happened to work for us because we loved each other. We that's kind of no, it's just like I think because we loved each other so much, like we were like prepared to take on like no matter what, you know. But yeah, I mean, if with us, it did work out that like the kids did make us a better duo, you know. It made us stronger because there was a lot of things that would, you know, that would present themselves as challenges, and we would be like, okay, you know, we got to move on through it. You know, he would struggle with things, I would struggle with this, and we would both uplift each other, and so that did make us stronger. Because it showed us that we are there for each other, and how we're always going to be there to support each other. So if you can survive the kids in the beginning, shit, you got everything else after.
Dude, and it does make, I think, the relationship stronger. It really does, because you have to, if I'm not doing well and I'm trying to take care of the kids, it's going to be a dismality. It's going to be a disaster. If she's not doing well and she's trying to take care of the kids, I can visually see something's not right. Right? So having to put that work together to actually understand, hey, I got to take care of her along with the kids for us to be well. It puts a stronger bond in a relationship. It really does. Mm-hmm. As well as she would on me. You know, everything's falling onto my shoulders. But realistically speaking, you find a way to work that bond out. And I mean, just like she said, just because you're married, you know, doesn't mean that you can't leave. But that, I feel like, established things even more, or solidified everything even more. Like, I as a father now have to look at it like, I need to make sure she's well.
Yeah.
It's rule number one. We got to be well for the kids to be well, you know? And it's a partnership. It's a teamwork thing. It's a thing you work at every single day.
Yeah. And just to touch up on that, it's like, I do agree, but I also got to say it's like, it varies on every situation because it's either it makes a couple or breaks a couple. It completely breaks it. Because it takes a lot of growth. It takes a lot of growth and maturity and like putting pride to the side. Like, hey, you know what? I was wrong. Yep. She's struggling over here, or I was wrong and he's struggling over here, and I don't want to accept it because I don't want to look wrong. Like, I didn't want to prove him right, or I didn't want to prove her right.
Not everybody has that mature mentality where you're like, you know, hey, like we're really in this together. Yeah. A lot of times it's like, no, you're the mom, you got the kids, cool, and I gotta go work, and then that's how we split it. Like, no, like this is an equal thing. So yeah, it could either make or break them. Yeah. I've seen it, unfortunately, more on the other side where it breaks, because I know a lot of people, where they've had kids, and I mean, not to single anyone out, but it happens with so many people, and it happens, but we move on. Exactly. We move on. It's not the end of the world. It's a shitty thing to experience, but it's not the end of the world. And there's other partners that will still, that right one is there coming for you. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I just remember the main point why I was afraid. It just hit me right now like a bag of bricks. I was afraid of losing Wendy because I didn't want to share her with anybody else. Mm-hmm. And I naturally knew that when we were gonna have a child, that I was gonna lose my partner. And I mean, maturely speaking, because she has to tend to the child. But I always thought, damn, there goes my wife. There goes my time with her. You know what? It's actually put us more together now. Mm-hmm. Because when those windows open up for us to be together, it's like, ooh, like magnets.
Yeah. And even with the kids, that. Like, people say like, oh shit, I can't wait to go and travel and everything, whatever, leave the kids at home. Like, no, like we actually want to have the kids with us. Like we whenever we go out, sometimes we go out to dinner and then we're like, okay, we'll leave the kids at home. And then we tell each other on the way, we're like, should we have brought the kids instead? Yeah. We kind of feel bad. We're like, no, we're always there with our kids. We don't mind our kids being there. Mm-hmm. We would actually love to travel with them and do things with them, because we see how happy they get. Well, Luna, we see how happy she gets, like going everywhere and experiencing these things, and it really just fucking melts your heart. You're like, oh my God,
We've done everything a hundred amount of times. Think about it. Yeah. You can go to McDonald's every day of the week. It's McDonald's, bro. Take a child once, they lose their mind.
It's a whole experience.
Yeah. Literally, it can be like that with everything that you do. You take a child anywhere, and it's the first initial sensation and experience to them. So for us to see that, I feel like we're desensitized as humans now, as older people. We're like, we're just gonna go to the store. We're just gonna go to a park. Dude, Luna here's parking. She's like, oh, like,
or doctor. She's like, doctor. Oh my God.
So she's not scared at all?
I gotta get, no. She loves the doctor. Now she does. Before she used to freak out, but now she's like, I gotta go change. We gotta shower. I gotta get an outfit. We gotta go to the doctor. Put my shoes on. We're going outside. Yep, it's doctor time,
You guys made some cute ass baby, man. Like, to be honest, like full of like Luna's like super smiling. Every picture I see, she looks very characteristic, like very like a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And your boy, man, like model already.
He's a little model. Little so, Carter's baby.
I guess like how does that feel like, as far as like venturing off into that baby model industry? If you don't mind me talking.
No. It's, you can ask whatever, man. So. I mean, it really just happened. I stumbled across they had a listing, a casting listing call for baby model stuff, and I actually did I tell you? I think I did tell you about it, right, or something. I was like. So no, I think I just submitted it, and it was like in October or something like that. It was like in October, and then I received an email. But I think a lot of like parents, specifically moms, do this where they like submit a little thing, because they always think, my little baby's cute. Not every baby's cute.
That's sorry to say that. You some hate. I think
I'm sorry, but I've heard about it. Some babies, and it's not that they're not cute. It's just like. They might be a little grumpy.
Here, let me revert the energy to me. I'll say it because I said it about Luna. And dude, when Luna was born, everybody's like, cute ass babies and this. And I'm looking at my daughter, bro. She was like a potato, bro. I was like, what is this? I was worried, yo. And,
okay.
But she's so beautiful now.
Oh my God. So she did have a little bit of a weird thing with her eyes. She like kind of crossed them a little bit, and I think that's made her very cartoony looking and animated. And I mean when I saw her, I don't know if it's a maternal thing, you know, I was like, this is the most beautiful. This is my little baby. This is my little Luna. You dick. It's your kid. You made that.
I mean, look, I take full credit now because she's gorgeous as hell, you know.
Yeah.
But when she was born, bro,
she did look a little cartoony, and then but it's so crazy. You know, I've seen those videos where they're like, you know, show her baby in the beginning and how they went. You're like, whoa, what happened?
The glow up.
Yeah, the glow up. You know, that was Luna. Like Luna really is like, she's the cutest. I've always thought she's been beautiful, really super cute from the beginning. But when you do look back, you're like, holy shit, that is not Luna. That's not what my kids. We did have a little Martian, little ET. She looked honestly like, remember back then that one show was called Booba?
Yeah.
She looked exactly like a little Booba. Like she was like this
little fucking pop head and bloop.
Yep. That was her big old beady little eyes and her little. She looked super cute, but she was a little like like a little out there, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's with Helios, so in the modeling thing, though, he did. I mean, even when he was born, he was very chinky looking. He was like all kind of like swollen.
I can't remember if he had a football head or not. He was born a little funny.
No, he didn't have his. No, his head was fine. Everything was. You're just trying to make.
I'm the one looking at the real.
You had a crooked ass head. I had a flat head too, man.
Now let's just be like realistic. Your babies are cute. I mean, they are.
Our babies are really cute. Our babies are really cute.
But I don't like saying that sometimes because I feel like every parent says that, right? But
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, and I get what she's saying. And it's the ugly elephant in the room, right? Because I'm just sorry. Some babies aren't cute. Some babies are cute, and it goes like even for adults. There's some gorgeous ass men, gorgeous ass girls,
exactly,
and there's some ugly ass guys and ugly ass girls. It's just the reality world we live in, and it's everybody's pretty. Everybody's pretty at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's just
they all have their own ways. Yeah. No, but it's not, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, my babies are cute, you know, the other ones. No. Like, some kids are meant, you know, some babies are photogenic, some babies are cute or not. Other ones look more grumpy, they look more sad or whatever the hell, you know, whatever expressions they have. But Helios has always been a happy, cute, little smiley baby. And I mean, you look at both of us and I'm like, what the fuck are these kids? We're swapped at the hospital, man. They are not our kids.
I am a bald ass dude.
We full on expected like funny looking babies, you know. And maybe he was like, yeah, that's my baby in the beginning when Luna was born. That's my baby. But no, I mean, like we do get it a lot, very often. They're like, yeah, you guys made some really cute babies. You know, and that's kind of cool to hear, you know. You're like, hey, like that's nice to hear.
Nobody rub my nuts, bro.
I rub your nuts.
Nasties.
Yeah, I know. But no, I mean it's been going cool with him. He got paid already. Like he got his little paycheck today. Actually,
dude, we have to do his taxes separate.
I was going to ask you, like, so how's that like? So now that he's actually making his own money, he does have taxes to pay for, right? So
yeah, so he's
is it worth it? Let me ask you that. If somebody, like, for example, let's say I want to put Prince in there.
If you want to do it, I feel like you really have to like have the mentality for it as well, because if you go in full in thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like a full like little job for him, like no, like you have opportunities where you'll be like, you know,
cast out,
and everything, and you know, just because they don't choose your kid does not mean that your kid was, you know, not cute or whatever the hell, or they didn't want them. No, it's sometimes they're just looking for a specific type of look. Exactly. Like we actually did, he got turned down from another shoot, and I think it's because they were looking, like I said, for a specific type of baby, or culture background or whatever. And so then, you know, then he got a casting call for Carter's, and then I was like, oh shit, Carter's, you know, cool. And then, you know, he got it, and he did a little thing, he did a fitting, and then stuff got postponed afterwards. But I mean, he did it. He's done little Halloween costumes as well. He's done Halloween costumes. So I think it is like you know, if you're willing to travel, if you have the availability time, if you're okay with like exposing them to something like that, I guess it is worth it. But I mean, if you're on a tight schedule, and if you're like, I can't drive to, because a lot of times you have to go to LA. A lot of these shoots are in LA, so we had to go. You know,
dude, it'd be like, she would tell me, hey, I just got an email, we need to go in a couple of days, or we need to go tomorrow, and I'd be like, fuck it.
And that's how it is in the modeling industry. Like, you gotta go, you gotta pick up and go and everything. And so, I was like, let me just, let me try it out for Helios. I know Luna is probably not the type, because she gets very fussy very easily. Like, if it's not something in her environment, she's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that it would be too stressful to put her into, like I said, before, we're gonna drive all the way to LA, and then we're gonna go up there, and then she's not gonna want to do anything. So I don't think it's I guess worth it for her to expose her to that, unless she wants to do it. Yeah. But for Helios, I mean, he's a baby. He's okay with any stranger. He's the complete opposite from Luna. Luna's like, she either likes a couple of you or she doesn't. Yeah. And Helios is, I mean, a stranger could come and pick him up, and he's...
Not that we allow that.
Bye-bye. No, but he'll smile to, like, a lot of strangers, and he's just very comfortable. And so I was like, okay, I think, he's a baby. He's easier to model and pose to. And so if one day, he's just like, I don't want to do it, I mean, hey, we pull him out.
That's the thing about that, right? Because we had a conversation about this as well. They're babies. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of the times we're present when they're doing the photo shoot and everything. We're seeing what's happening. If they're comfortable. Cool. The shot is done, right? But when you're talking about you're putting an older kid in there, a kid who obviously, Prince is how old now?
He is 5, turning 6.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it in this sense. He's woke, right? Like, now the child is aware.
He's aware.
When you put children in a setting like that, and let's say, hey, we're gonna go do a photo shoot, right? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna take pictures of you, and then if they like it, they're gonna pick you. All right, cool. So he's excited. He's full of life. He's full of energy. It's kind of like winning an award, right? Like, hey, you're going to win a trophy. Mm. It's explaining to a child, hey, they didn't pick you.
So you're talking about the letdown, right?
It's the letdown.
It's exactly. And I think starting from, like, a very early age makes that a little easier, because they know, like, I guess they're used to it, But it is something that's, you have to consider, like, hey, you have to explain to a child in a way that a child can understand. Like, it's okay that they didn't choose you for this time or whatever. And that's where the parents, I think, have to take a little more responsibility on the booking side and everything. Like, maybe not explain or maybe not say everything all the time. Like, hey, we're gonna go do a casting or whatever. But if they ask, okay, be truthful to them. But maybe not be like, okay, well, they didn't pick you or something, because then maybe that might instill like, oh shit,
like disappointment.
Yeah.
But what's cool, right? Like, just outside looking in, it's like you guys could use as a perfect opportunity. It's like not everybody gets a participation award.
Yeah,
type of thing.
exactly.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm trying to touch at. But how long do you guys feel like going? Do you feel like running with this until he says no, or?
Yeah, I mean, for right now. Yeah, I mean, for right now, we're just playing it by ear. We're just testing the waters out. We don't know where it could take them. I mean, some kids do it and they just do a couple shoots and that's it in their life, Yeah. Some kids take one and then they blow up and then, like, they're into doing these really big, campaigns and stuff like that. So with Helios, like I said, he did a 30-second casting call virtual video. I literally shot it on my phone. I was like, all right, this is Helios, like his measurements and his age, and he can sit up. All right, cool. And I sent that in, and they were like, all right, cool. And out of, like, I don't know how many babies, like, it was multiple agencies that did this in LA in person. We couldn't go because he had a fever, so that's why we stayed down here. But they were like, our agent was like, yeah, like let's try to see if we can do at least a virtual or something, because, like, I want to get that opportunity in there. He was one of 3. 3 kids out of, I don't know how many got picked, but he was the one out of the agency in itself. So I was like, holy shit, he got a
fever too, bro. We were literally prepared to go to the trip, and then he was just getting sick, and I was like, you know what? His health is priority.
Yeah, that's when we were like, no, we're not gonna, like, expose him to anything if he's not feeling good. Like, this is where we gotta call it. Like, you can't be like, all right, he just buckle up, we gotta go, showtime. No.
Chill out, little buddy.
No. No, they're always gonna come first, no matter what. Like, I will always advocate for them first, no matter what. The money's the money, and their experience is experience, but the kids come first.
And that's the growth that I'm talking about. See, you guys fucking.
Yeah.
Damn, fucking. A round of applause. Holy shit. Like, I'm in Prince. Shut the fuck up, NyQuil. Let's go. Nah, never that. But I definitely agree with that. It's a big accomplishment for you guys, for sure. Like,
and not even for us, dude. I mean, literally, she was up one night and she was like, hey, I did this thing. And I was like, what did you do? She was like, I kind of signed him up. I signed him up for this, like, photo shoot. See if he gets lucky. And I was like, what is it going to be, a Gerber baby? And everybody always used to be like, that's a very cute baby. I was like, You know? And then for that to happen, I was like, what? Yeah. So the first time we went, dude, I mean, I was born in LA.
Yeah.
You know, I've been around the area, but we went to a sketchy ass area, and I'm thinking like, I'm already thinking
it's
like,
industrial. It's kind of warehouse looking ish, you know. And so I've known, you know, in the modeling industry, just how, you know, certain areas can look a little like, you
run
know,
down.
Yeah, you know, like that's like just because it's the modeling stuff don't mean it's all glamorous.
Well, take an example from here. Like when you came in here, like where the fuck am I going? Dude, right? It's fucking scary.
You never know. You never know. It's fine, but I mean, it's. So we went and we did it, and he was like, "Are you sure everything's?" I'm like, "Trust me, everything's good." You know, we went and we did everything, and he's like, "You got paperwork and everything?" I'm like, "Yes." I wouldn't be doing something if, you know, I didn't know it was like safe. And so yeah, we did it. And once he saw it, he was like, "All right, cool. This is pretty dope." And then we did another casting, but that's the one that he didn't get. And then we did I think it was like a week after, right? They called us back and they're like, okay, you know, we want to do Carter's, and we couldn't do it. You know, it was raining, and we were like, I don't know, we want to drive to LA while it's raining. We're probably not going to make it there on time. And then he got a fever too, so we're like, we're going to call out. And then agent was like, just send me a video of him and see if we can get him in that way. And yep, he got it. So yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. It really is. From not wanting kids to being super motivated by my daughter to then having a son. And I'm kind of like, whoa, what the hell's going on? This parent life is kind of taking off. I'm telling her she's going to become a momager. She's going to become a momager. I put a word on that.
What's momager?
A momager is
the mom manager.
Mom manager.
You know, like the Kardashians have Kris Jenner, like the mom, and she's like the one that runs them and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're gonna be a momager, and I was like, look, if I am, whatever. But I was like, I'm always, no matter what, like I'm always the one like running things, you know, paperwork, insurance, doctor stuff, and everything. I always do it. He does the carpool.
Actually, nah. Last trip.
No, he's super dad. He prepares the snacks.
I'm gonna give myself the damn trophy award this year for Father's Day, because for real, this time. For our previous trip, actually, she was super beat. She's super tired. Obviously, I'm trying to help out with the kids. And she was like, oh, we're going to prepare in the morning. Bruh, as a Latino, I know every morning you're preparing, you're rushing, just grab whatever you need. Nah, dude, I stayed up, and I think I slept like 4 hours that night. I prepared every single thing.
He had everything. We just got up. We changed the kids real quick, and he's like, "Don't even trip. Everything's already in the car, ready to go." And I'm like, "For real?"
Dude, she got up and she's like, "Oh, let me go get this." I'm like, "Nope, it's already in the bag. What about this? It's in the bag. What about that? Get in the car. We gotta go now. I got everything."
Yeah, I'm the type that's like usually like I'm checking, like I don't have a list on my phone, right? But you have a mental list of like, I got this, and this, and this, and everything, and then oh shit, are the birds fed or are the dogs fed or whatever? And like he's like, everything's already taken care of. I'm like, oh my god, yes.
You picked him right.
I learned from her though, man.
Yeah, it's the routine, you know, that we have to keep, and we stay out of routine, then we fuck up. But no, and then he was like, yeah, everything's ready to go, and I'm like, oh my god, I love you, thank you. But yeah, that's the world of the kids, I guess.
Pues ahí estamos.
It's entertaining. It really is, especially to see you with your kid too, man. I mean, talk about growth. We're just talking about you a couple days ago, actually. How motivation has actually been to see exactly where you are now and see to actually be here. It's an experience. It's actually something great to see, genuinely.
Thank you.
So let's not just like fluff us up about growth. I mean, dude, we've seen you, man. I'm gonna throw it back to you here. It's like you've done a lot of growing, dude, and it's very interesting to see that. Especially out of knowing you for so long from where you've been.
I mean, I don't know. Did you know him well before?
I mean, I knew the antics that he was on about. I literally hung, dude. First of all, shout out to your mom. Shout out to your grandma.
Yeah, man.
Great as women. Additionally, from the women that are in my life that I've met, dude, I was just thinking about them literally coming down here. They've done very good with you. They've done very, very well with you. And I mean, he might be the reason that I'm a little too stuck in the video game I recently bought, because he introduced me to that.
Which one?
Dark Souls.
You're the culprit.
Oh, Dark Souls. Yeah. Fuck that game.
Oh my god, that game. I'm like, I want my husband back.
It's fucking. It's one of the hardest games to play for sure. And like if you put it on like what's that, advanced or like dark mode, you're fuck. Like, fuck that game.
But back to the main subject, dude. You've done a shit ton of growing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen just like you've done everything with your life, you know, from even the carpet. to you setting up the first light, to you setting up the first mirror, and now with your animation
everything how we, we've seen it all from the, from the beginning. It's always like, I've told you, like just keep doing it, even if it's low. But everyone starts, scrappy. Everyone starts scrappy and grows to something one day.
You're flourishing. You really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's like, for me, it's like, I know my family tells me that, my partner tells me like, I'm too hard on myself. And I think it goes back to like having so much pressure as me as a father, and me as a son, me as a partner, trying to be better, and just like not letting anybody else down, because that's scary. You don't want to feel like you let them down and let yourself down.
Yeah. I don't think that there's a positive to that. When you're too hard on yourself, though, that thing, I have that with myself too. But I feel that because we have that keeps pushing us. Yeah. Keeps pushing us to keep looking for more, for growth all the time. You're never comfortable to settle down. You're always hustling to grow more and more and more. To me, like we were talking about this, like 2 days ago, and I'm like, I can do so many things. Like I can literally, like I know how to fix a car. I know how to do carpentry stuff. Bob the Builder Wendy. I'm the fixed person, the fix-it person at home. Anything, problems, physical things at home, even the doctor. Like I'm like the minute clinic at home. But I know how to do a lot of things, but I'm like, I don't know if I will ever find something that I'm like, this is my thing. Like even if like photography, like I'm very, very good at photography stuff. But I don't know that like I would ever be like, I want to do this forever. Like, no, it's something that I'm very good at. And I want to show the people like, a side of, my perspective of what I see with other people. But I'm always trying to do more and more and more and more. I don't ever want to stay comfortable in one thing. I might get comfortable with one thing for a little while, but I mean, if you look at my resume, it's crazy. Like I've not done the same thing for a very long time. There's a couple things that are in common right there. Like I've done, a couple photography things, but I've done a little bit of everything. And I think that that's just like something that like I like to do. I like to always experience new things. Right? Yeah, I like to learn many things. We just say person of many trades, and
there's a saying I forget. Jack of all trades but a master of none is better than what is it? Than a master of one. I think that's what the saying is. So you know how to do many things, but you just don't perfect a single thing. But it's better than to know just one thing.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. I think one of the things my dad hit me, which kind of like stuck with me, like the short conversations that we do have like intelligently. He told me, he was like, why are you trying to learn so much things if you're not going to be best at one? And it's weird because like I get that aspect as well, and I also get his aspect, because that's true. Like if I'm not perfect at one, why am I trying
to over-perfect
everything else? So it's either you stick to one and master it, but then why are you putting all your cards in one thing? Because if you're putting your pride to the side and you're not really great at it, like what the fuck? What's next?
Yeah.
But what's interesting about that? You are almost the same way, because you are doing probably the job of 4 individuals right now, even at the moment, with how I see how you're maneuvering everything. Yeah. That is literally better than just doing one thing, because you could have literally figured out a way to orchestrate all of this and just say, you know what, let me just kind of figure out the sound first. I'm gonna get a podcast going with just sound. But no, we've literally seen you.
I'm fucking balls deep. Yeah, man, I know
everything.
But that's a cool thing though. A lot of times, like I think maybe like CEOs or like heads of companies and stuff like that, the people that rise to those levels, like they have already, you might maybe not see it all the time, but like they've already gone through like the bottom. They've already gone through every other position, and I feel that it's a good thing to experience every position that is required to do that job, because you understand everything. Yeah. And if someone lacks in something, you know how to come in and support for that, and how to advise them with that. Yeah. I think it's having that full transparency and understanding of everything. Yeah. And that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing that like you say, you get to do all these other things over here, and eventually you might not have to do it, and you're just sitting there talking.
I like to speak things into existence. You will reach a point.
You will.
That's him.
That's how I've been living life lately, actually.
Yeah. Talk it, manifest it, and it'll happen.
Into life.
Yeah.
See, like for me, I think the end goal for this is eventually, I still want a podcast to tell everybody's story, right? Be a platform. Like your guys' story might be able to move and motivate someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still, like, for me, you guys are moving me, I mean, as we speak. But I do want this to continue growing.
Yeah.
And eventually just get back to the community. I mean, like, let's say, like I mentioned to the other people that I brought on, like, eventually I want to open up a website and have, like, affiliated links. Like, if you want to support Wendy or Oscar's, like, journey, like, there's a website for her photography, or Adam's Las Hadas, or the tattooing.
Like direct links for
everybody. I mean, just giving back.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting way of approaching everything, actually. Because you've had some pretty interesting individuals in here.
Yeah.
So for you to kind of centralize everything, per se, and almost create like a tree, right, where you're at the top to kind of trickle down and feed everybody else.
But it shows light that everybody is all, like, we're all the same thing. Like, we're all
the
going through
struggle.
It's yes, but we all have our own individual things. Like, my problem is not the same as your problem.
Exactly.
My problem is not the same as yours, and neither is yours to them. But we're all trying to reach a goal. And you know, if you support each other, no matter how big or small your struggle is, like, that goal and that support that you have from people, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, that's all that you need sometimes, you know, to reach your goal, is that support around you. And I feel like I say this a lot of time, like, with my photography stuff. I'm like, man, like, you know, the people that book with me, you know, a lot of them, most of them actually stay with me for, you know, if they're doing maternity shoots and they're, you know, or they're getting married, then comes the maternity and then the babies and everything else after, because they love my work. And I always try to give more than, you know, what they're hiring me for. But I'm always like, man, like, I feel like, I don't know, like, I wish that people would give me more opportunity, you know, to really, you know, help them out and show them what I can do for them. I feel like almost every shoot that I have is almost better than the last, every single one. And, you know, and he's like, you know, it's gonna happen one day. I'm like, I know it will, but I feel like, you know, you just want that one person or somebody to give you that opportunity. I feel that I'm sure that you feel the same way too.
It's the anticipation, right? That's like, I guess,
anticipation,
like, you're fucked, like, when is it coming?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but it's not there yet.
It's not there.
I think that's what my mentor tells me. Oscar, you know Oscar, that dude, like, fucking badass dude. He's fucking young. He's fucking smart as shit, and I respect that. I mean, I respect how knowledgeable he is, and he's been helping me out. But he tells me, like, it's gonna happen. You just got to be consistent.
Yep, consistency.
Exactly.
What were we talking about today? Consistency. That word, has been today with me. If you don't have it, I mean, you can't just expect for things to just drop on your lap and be like, all right, magically they're there. Like, there's been a lot of times, you know, don't get me wrong, that I have actually gone through luck, and I'm like, I have no way of explaining why these things happen, and I'm I guess appreciative or, like, privileged to have those things happen to me. And I don't take it for granted. But you have to work. You have to work to get to your goals. You can't just, like, sit there and be like, you know, or mope around and just be like, man, like, it's not, you know, it's not happening. Like, you know, you might have your little plateaus, you might have your little down days, but, you know, there comes that one day or that one opportunity that comes in, and it's going to lift you up, and it's going to keep pushing you. And you have to keep, like, you know, thriving off of those opportunities that you keep getting, and just using that fuel from there and spreading it out a little bit more. Yeah.
The snowball effect. If you never throw a snowball down a freaking hell of a mountain, it's never going to roll. Yeah. It's never going to grow. You're not going to cause an avalanche by sitting there and not making anything happen. I mean, it's just how it works. But you have to be consistent, and you have to be patient. That's the same thing I tell her.
Patience, yeah.
Patience is key, but consistency with it.
I think patience. Like, Luna's actually taught me patience a lot. She's taught me to be patient. That's a lot. No. She will teach you to learn patience on a different level, because I'm a person that's always like go. Like, you know, let's go do this, let's go do that. Like, I need to do A, B, and C or whatever. But I think that, you have to sometimes, like, just kind of chill out a little bit. Chill out. Just let things happen on their own. And then you take control over things here and there. And then, boom.
Boom. Yeah, see, I think that's, even though, like, with the kid, with Princeton, like, everything that happened, I don't have the patience. Like, I think that's what kills me. I think that's what drives me fucking, like, that mental depression. Like, what the fuck, what's not working? What am I doing wrong? When, like, I look back at the videos, like, I've done, or photography that I shot, or videos, or graphics and painting, I'm like, fuck, I could have done that better. And I'm hard. I mean, it's not being hard.
But you won't learn from it unless you do it, though. If you don't have mistakes, how are you gonna know that you can get better? You know, if you don't have those experiences, how are you gonna know that you can be better? You have to fuck up. You have to be, you know, you have to lose and be, you know, on the lower side, so you know what it's like to be higher. Yeah. You know, to look up.
Yep. If you would have never picked up that stylus to mess with your art on your iPad or tablet that you're currently utilizing, you would have never actually, or if you would have never even started with your painting sketches that you actually began with, or your actual sketching, you would have never even got into pushing it this far. Yeah. To pushing the stickers out, or to pushing the designs that you're currently working with. So it's always better to say, hey, you know what? That kind of was a bit of a flop. But from those flops, you keep them. You keep looking back at them. And you keep growing from them. Mm-hmm. Dude, I mean, you've gone from a sketch on a paper to, yo, who needs a design next? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like that.
Yeah. I couldn't do these things. You know? I couldn't do these things, you know, but you are. So it's something, everybody has their own thing, their own niche, you know, that they're gonna find. So yeah, it's just being patient, and just putting a little bit more effort every time, every day, and being open to almost every opportunity that comes your way. Know your value of what you have as well.
What you have and what you do.
Yeah, because even if you might hit a silent time where you're like, don't really hear nothing, or you don't really see anything happening with, you know, like with you're like, what else am I doing here? It's something's happening and it's coming, but you just have to wait for it as well. You have to keep working, and then eventually, like, you know, those things will start popping up for you. You know, and you just have to take the opportunity.
You also have to really watch the way that you speak about yourself. Yeah, and I believe that heavily lately, because I've been talking with Wendy about, like, generally manifesting things to your cure. Yeah. It sounds corny as hell, and I always used to be like, man, just get out of here with your hippie shit.
The law of attraction, right?
Yeah, the law of attraction.
Exactly.
Honestly, look, even everybody goes through it. Everybody goes through a hard time. Everybody goes through depression. Everybody goes through all of this stuff, and I can speak on it from first hand, but you have to love yourself, and you have to actually manifest these things. It can be the corniest thing. You can wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to have a good day today, the simplest factor. Just putting it out there is actually going to make that happen. But if you wake up, I've used this example a lot of times. Mm-hmm. What happens every Monday? Everybody's like, fuck Mondays. You know what it is? You know how many people there are in the world saying the same thing? Imagine all that negative energy on a Monday, bro. Everybody's Monday's going to shit. Yeah. So I do a different thing. I'm like, fuck yeah, Mondays are the shit.
I actually like Mondays. Because I'm like, hell yeah, like it's a fresh start to my week and everything. Like, you know, to me, days at home, they all feel the same. But I started focusing on, like, the actually, you know what? It's a start again. It's a start again, and it's a start again. But I feel like when you have so much struggle around you, you're like, fuck, here's another week again. Mm-hmm. Here's another fucking time, and whatever. But start seeing every day and every struggle as an opportunity for you to learn. Every single freaking, no matter what, if it's a bad experience, it's a bad fucking experience. But now you know how to deal with the next bad experience because you've already had it. You know, so just keep pushing on through it. That's it. Like, Mondays are Mondays, but shit, I've had really fucked up, like, Fridays. Yeah. You know, and then nobody wants to say, so Fridays are shit. Fridays, right? Yeah, exactly. Fuck Fridays. So yeah, every day is different, but just keep moving with it.
Yeah. What about you, Oscar? You have anything else to say? Any words of wisdom right now before we wrap it up?
Love yourself, damn it. People gotta love each other. Gotta love themselves. It's a hard time. Yeah. COVID is really just making things so difficult right now. Cool. And I think people are forgetting that. Love your parents. Call your parents, because I don't do that enough. I know that for a fact.
I always
communicate with your parents. Yeah. Keep those who love you around you. You know.
And keep a close circle. Not everybody's there for your benefit. Oh yeah. You know, not everybody's there for your benefit. You're there maybe for their benefit. And sometimes it's not a good benefit. So keep a tight circle for yourself. And also keep things to yourself. Sometimes I feel I do that a lot. I keep things to myself and I manifest them for myself. I don't like to put my shit out there because it might throw off my my game a little bit, my feng shui. You know, you might have someone else that might throw in an opinion that you just didn't need to listen to. It might throw you off a little bit, and it might not make it happen sometimes. I try not to listen. So because I know that I can listen to people and that shit might affect me, I try not to put anything out there unless I know it's like something that's not going to affect me. Something positive that's great for other people to hear. But yeah, I mean, it's keep a tight circle and keep reminding yourself all the time, like just have a conversation with yourself. I started to do that a lot recently. I started to do that, having a conversation with myself. And I know he said earlier, like in the talk, you know, that he's always trying to, like, you know, look out for me and everything. But a thing that I feel like we started doing as well is try to help each other first, like yourself, you know, because if you're not good with yourself, you can't help someone else out. And we've now reverted that. You know, I used to have to always like help him out. He used to help me out a lot, but now we're like, let's turn it around. Now let's learn to help each, like, ourselves. Yeah, ourselves. Because we're not always there for each other a lot of times. You know, we're busy with the kids and our own set of things, so we need to learn how to, like, check each other, you know.
It's funny that you bring that up, right? I'm gonna hit on two things that you said. Like the first part about keeping people, like, not close to you, is because, like, the girl I interviewed prior is Maya Morbid, the tattoo artist. She hit on, like, what she said is, like, you don't always expect to get the same love that you give out for others.
Exactly.
Which is crazy because it's a truth. Like, it's an ugly truth to see, and some people like to turn the blind eye because they don't want to lose that friend. But
I don't care.
It sucks, right? And
I don't care.
Like, it sucks, but you see the true color, right?
Yeah.
You see the true color for what it is.
Yep.
And then second, like, I think that's what my partner right now, she tells me, like, you got to learn how to love yourself. How are you gonna love me if you can't love yourself?
Exactly.
And, like, for me, I was like, oh. Like, okay, like, it's cool because, like, I've grown a lot where I used to be very immature and, like, very narrow-minded. Like, I would talk bad about mental health. Like, I was like, people who had mental health were fucking weak. People, postpartum depression, bullshit.
And now it's like, oh shit, we're on the same boat, huh, guys?
Yeah, like, now, like, looking back, like, I'm a fucking train wreck, and, like, all right, like, I took it for what it is. It took a lot of growing up, a lot of, like, tears, like, late nights, like, beating myself up, and like, working 2 jobs, and, like, I was like, enough is enough. Yeah. And yeah, like, it's very awesome. Like I said, going back to you guys is to see this growth and seeing where you guys are. And I know just from what you guys experience and, like, all this positive energy that I'm getting from you guys, is like, the future's gonna be bright for you guys. Like, no matter what.
We say the same for you.
Yeah, so, like, no, don't hope so. Like,
no, I say that in a good way. Like, I hope so, because, like, you never know what can happen. That it might be a negative thing. So you always hope for good things. You always keep hoping for good things. And if, you know, like we say, law of attraction, if you keep hoping for it, it'll happen. And it's been happening. Even with little things, man. Even with little things, you know, we keep talking, we're like, it's gonna happen, and then they do. Hey, they do.
A fucking win's a win, no matter what.
A win's a win.
And no matter how small
it is. Little or big,
it's a fucking win, right? Yeah. So I think we're pretty much wrapped up, unless you guys got anything else to say. I know it's pretty late and getting late for the kids.
No, this was good. I like that we caught up a little bit here.
Yeah, appreciate you inviting us on here. We got a lot of love for you, bro.
No, thank you for guys coming out. Like, especially when I did a calentura, like, for me, I think that's my main goal. Like, going back on that, right? Doing the podcast, but I do want to open up a cafe, like the ice cream shop calentura, for giving back to the community, like having like a little study session. I remember where I grew up there was an ice cream place. All the high school kids would come and hang out there. It's a cool place. Like, it's cheap and it's affordable. Like, I want to be able to do that and more. Yeah. Have this. You know what I mean, have people like. And you
can totally do it. I mean, you're all here in the area, the perfect area to do it, and you have a good soul to do that. You know, so I feel like if you keep manifesting that for yourself, like, it can happen, and it will happen. We'll be there to support as well. You know,
fucking love that. Oh yeah, no, thank you guys. No, thank you. And we're all done. So I guess we will end this interview now.
We should have taken a shot right now.
Peace. Another shot for another time. Bye, guys. Bye. All right. Boom.